Good morning, Elsford class. Hope you're all well. So welcome to today's computing lesson. I've been asked to start our computing lesson today by doing a short activity. It's all about online bullying. So obviously we're all using the internet more and more. Some of us use devices like phones and tablets. Some people like to use Xboxes and PlayStations, laptops. So however you use the internet, it's important that we know how we need to look after each other and ourselves when we're online, when we are using it. Today's short activity is going to be about how would you spot if someone is being bullied online. And so we're going to spend a couple of sessions in our computing this term just talking about this. And I want us to think about recognizing when someone is being sort of bullied online, or if they're upset or they're feeling hurt online. So think about how bullying would bullying behavior, how that would make someone feel. So Mrs. Porter will just stop the video, and I just want you guys to think of 3 emotions that someone might be feeling if they were being bullied online. So stop the video and have a quick chat with your talk partners. What emotions would you feel if someone was being bullied online? Okay, so hopefully we'll have some ideas of some potential sort of emotions that people might be feeling if they were being bullied online. Let's see if we can get this text. There we go. So some potential sort of things you might be feeling is upset or sad. You might feel a bit frustrated. You might feel quite angry. You might be feeling hurt and left out, possibly feeling a bit isolated from a group. So these are some emotions you might be feeling. And it could be linked to people's social media statuses, or it could be to text messages or to group chats that are in chat rooms. Everything that's said and shared online, if it's not done in a nice way, can hurt people's feelings. So here's some other ones that I was thinking of. For example, sharing statuses that show someone's sad or hurt, not wanting to play online. So maybe they don't want to play a game anymore. That might be a way they react if they feel hurt. Maybe they'll share some extreme reactions. So maybe they're feeling really upset and angry. Maybe someone would be refusing to go online anymore because of the way that they've been hurt. Maybe they're using swearing or rude language online. Maybe showing emotion like crying or being sad when others talk about being online. So maybe they hear other people's sort of stories and they get upset. Maybe they're using emojis that show different emotions like happy, sad, or angry faces. Sometimes they're using those emojis to show how they're feeling. Sometimes it's just being mean or bullying others online. Sometimes you see hurtful messages online as well. So those are some things we're thinking about with bullying online. I want you to think about how the next time you're online and you're talking, communicating with people, how you might be making them feel with your choices of sort of words and your actions as well. Okay, guys, so what we're going to do is we're going to do a little bit of time to go into Times Table Rockstars. And I want you guys just to have sort of 10, 15 minutes or so on Times Table Rockstars. And yesterday we had to go to the sound check game. So this is a really good opportunity to go and sound check and practice those times tables that you did. So here's my sound check game that I'm going to play. And a little bit of advice when you're doing it, make sure you don't press the enter key, give yourself time. You're going to be using the mouse on this one, unfortunately, so it won't be as quick as if you were using your touch screen on an iPad. So you're going to have to do it as best as you can on the mouse, but it's still good practice to do it. And every single time you get a good answer, you will get points for us as well. So have you noticed how I'm not going anywhere near that enter key? I want to give myself as much time as possible. And I enter my scores in as I go along. So I'm just going to go back now. So you get the idea. You had a good go at it yesterday. Okay. So just go on that for 10 minutes and practice for me. Try and get a better score than you did yesterday when you did it in school. That's everybody. So hopefully you've had a good chance to go into your Times Table Rockstars accounts for a bit. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to introduce you to a new software package, and that's called ToLogo. So when you're on the home screen in the search bar, all you need to do is type LOGO, logo. And down here, we've got this little app picture with the blue squares. That's ToLogo. So we're going to click on that and we're going to press launch. And you're going to get something that looks like this. Now, ToLogo is a software program that you can use, and it is linked to your coding. So this is text code. So we're going to think about how we can enter code into this program, and it's going to program the computer to do certain things for us. Okay. So here we've got a triangle, or an arrow, I should say. And this arrow is going to be moving around, and we're going to enter commands to it that's going to make it move around. Okay. And you have here a white bar, and this white bar is where you can enter your text coding. And down the side here, we've got some different commands that we can use to make it do things. So for example, we've got FD, and you can see here in brackets, it stands for going forward. We've got BK, which in brackets means backwards. I've got RT, which is right, LT, left, and then some other ones as well, which we don't need to worry too much about it. So say, for example, I want my arrow to go forward. If I just click FD, you can see here, I've got FD in my command. And then if I press either the enter key or the play key, we'll see if something happens or not. So let's press the play key. Now here we've got this little window, this little orange box, and that is telling us that we've made a mistake somewhere. And the reason why we've made a mistake is we haven't given the computer any instructions that tell the computer how far we want it to go. So when you open this up for the first time, what I suggest you do is this. At the very top, there's this box that's got some squares on. This is a grid. So I want to click on the grid, and you can see now we've got some squares. And this square is going to be helping us to know how far we're going to make our arrow go. We want to tell the arrow to go a certain amount of squares. And the dot in the middle is going to help us to picture that for us. So say, for example, I'd like my arrow to go forward 1, 2, 3, 4 squares. In my command section, I could type in FD for forward, and then I put a space, and I would put the number 4. And when I press play now, you can see it's now gone forward 4 squares. It was first down here, and now it's gone 1, 2, 3, 4. If I wanted to go backwards, I need to type in BK for backwards. So if I wanted to go back to the beginning, I would have to say back space 4. Press the play button, and it's gone back to where it was. Now, if I press the right, if I want my arrow to go right, if I type in RT, and I wanted to go 4 spaces to the right, we would think you would have to type in RT and then 4. But watch what happens. I wonder if you notice what happened. I'm going to type it in again. RT space 4. So the arrow has actually moved a tiny amount. And that's because when you tell the computer that you want your arrow to turn either left or right, you're actually going to be telling how many degrees you're going to move that arrow. So actually, I want my arrow to turn 1 full turn to the right. Now think about your degrees when you do angles. How many degrees would you have if you're going to turn in 1 right angle? So hopefully you've had a quick chat and we know that you're going to need to have 90 degrees for it to turn in 1 right angle. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to type in RT and then plus 90, and 90 degrees. And this time when I press play, you can see that the arrows now turn 90 degrees to the right. And now I can make it move forward. So I put forward space 4. And you can see now it's gone forwards. Now I can put commands like this together. So say, for example, I'll go back to where I was. This time, if I put in right, so RT space 90 degrees, and this time I can put FD for forward and press 4 for 4 squares. So if I press the play button, hopefully now it will do it in one go. It will turn and go forward, just like that. Now, whenever you make a mistake or whenever you decide to start again, if you go to this sort of recycle arrow button, that will make us go back to the beginning again. And what I also suggest you do is over here, we've got a little sort of bar, and you can change the speed at which it does the animations. I always suggest when you're first learning to do Logo to put it down to slow. And that's because then you can it helps you to sort of recognize the movements that the computer is making, and you can spot any mistakes you've made. So have a quick go for, I would say, 5 or 10 minutes, just practicing, putting in some commands for your arrow to move in different directions, and see whether you can sort of get to grips with the different commands that you can put in for the arrow. And then come back to this video once you've finished after about 10 minutes. Off you go. Okay, guys, so hopefully you've had a chance to have a go at your commands. Now, what you are going to have is you're going to have a worksheet that looks like this. And this worksheet has some instructions down the side here. And it's telling you what you need to put in for the computer. And it's going to make a shape. Now, before you have a go at making these shapes, I think it's quite good fun to try and look at the instructions and try to predict what shape might be made. So you can see here, there's 3 sets of instructions here, and there's 3 lines here that are exactly the same. FD1, so forward 1, right 90, forward 1, left 90. So what you're going to do is you're going to type that into your instructions. Now I'm going to cheat because I've got the computer. I can copy this and put it into my instructions. So let's have it do that now. So this is the first set of instructions. And I'm going to press play. So it's done that once. I wonder if you can have a quick guess to see what shape might be made. I might do it again this time and see what happens. Ooh, a bit clearer. One more time. Now, what you can do is you can actually drag your arrow away, and you can see I've made some steps. So what I want you guys to do for me is now on your worksheets, have a go at entering these commands into the Logo program and see what shapes you can create. Okay, off you go. Okay, everyone, so hopefully you've had a good chance to make those different shapes and things. So what I want you now to think about is some codes we get sometimes where we get errors. So here, I'm going to put that grid back on for us so we can see where we're moving. Here you can see I've got some instructions. I'm going to press the plus button. And it's come up with an error message. That orange box means I've done a mistake somewhere. So before I go back, I wonder if anyone can spot what my error might be. Have a look and see. Okay, so the error that I've made is down here in my code. And this is the passcode I did. If I go back and click on it, I can go back to it. And hopefully you'll recognize that I'm missing a space. So you always need a space between your instructions and the amount of your boxes or the amount of degrees that you're traveling. And so here you can see I'm missing out a space there. And I'm also missing a space here. So if I go back to my beginning and now press play, this is the shape that I've decided to draw. So it's really important that you've got spaces in between your instructions, your commands, and the number that you're putting. Now, once you have a bit of practice with this, you can start to have a bit of fun with entering lots of different types of instructions, but they can get a little bit long, a little bit repetitive. So there's an extra thing you can do to help speed up the process, and this is what you can do. This little button here, this blue button here, switches to a multi-line editor mode, which means if I click on it, it's going to ask me, are you sure? Okay. You'll notice the box has been extended, and this means you can now enter more instructions. So say, for example, I would like to go forward, so FD5, and I want to turn right 90 degrees, and I want to go forward 3, and then I want to go right 90 degrees and forward 4, and then I want to go right 45 degrees this time and go 5. This is what it would look like. And you can see it's told me it doesn't know what to do with 5, and that's because this last instruction here hasn't been told what to do. So I wanted to go forward, so FD5. So if I go back to beginning, I can press play. So that's the shape I've drawn so far. I would like to repeat that over and over again, and you can get used to making patterns. So what you can do is you can highlight all your instructions or your code. And then on your keyboard, you're looking for something that says Control, and then you're going to do C. That means copy. So Control and C. And then what I can do is I can then press the Enter key to move my little cursor down to another line. And then if I press Control V this time, that means paste. I can add another line of code that's exactly the same. I haven't had to add it all the way through. So I'll do it again. I'm going to press Enter. Got a new line, Control V. I can do another one. I can do Enter, Control V, and I can do another one. So now when I press play, this is what happens. So I've made, looks a bit like a windmill, doesn't it? So you can actually have a go at creating different patterns with Logo as well. So have a go at creating a pattern by typing in some instructions, and then you're going to press Control C for copy, and then Control V for paste, and see if you can make some patterns. And then you can come back to this video once you're done. Okay, everyone, so hopefully you've had a go at making some patterns. I've got one more challenge for you to do with this program for Logo, and that is you having a go and see if you can create some letters. So for example, here, I'd like to try and create a name. So what I suggest you can do your own name if you want to, but I'm going to do one that's fairly easy to begin with, just to practice. And I'm going to do the name Tim. So it's 3 letters. And it's fairly straightforward, I think. So you'll notice down the side on the commands, you've got something called pen down and pen up. So that means, imagine if I put pen down, you're telling the arrow to create a line underneath it. So it's going to make a line as it moves around. Imagine like it's a pen that's dragging along a piece of paper. Now, if I don't want that to happen, I can do the pen up. So I'm just going to clear these old commands. If I go FD3 and then press play, you can see now it's drawn that green line there, hasn't it? Okay. Now I don't want that to happen. So what you can do is you can do pen up. So PU, pen up. And that means it won't draw a line anymore. So if I put FD3 or FD4 and press the play button, you can see, look, it's moved forward, but it hasn't drawn a line. So what I want us to try and do is see if we can try and writing a name. So I was going to the name Tim. So I want to imagine, I want to create a T shape. So I want to go up, and I'm thinking I want to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5. And then I'm going to need to make my arrow turn left and go across, and turn around and go back on itself to make that T. So I want my pen to be down first. I'm going to put pen down, and I want it to go forward. And I want to go forward 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So forward 5. Okay. Now the nice thing about this is you can press play and you can see what it looks like. Okay. So now what I wanted to do is I want to turn my arrow to the left. So I know on my next piece of code, I need to do LT, which is left. And I want it to go 90 degrees. So then it will turn. Now you'll notice it's gone back up again. That's because it's completing the next line of the code. So that happens sometimes. So if I go back to the beginning, press play, there you go. So I want it now to go forward 2. So I'm going to go forward 2. So I'm going to go back to the beginning and see what it looks like. There we go. And then I need to turn all the way around. So if 90 degrees, it's going to make it turn to the right or to the left. 180 degrees is going to make it turn all the way around again. So I want it to go right 180. So I'll go back to the beginning. So they go, I've gone all the way back. And I want to go 1, 2, 3, 4. So I want to go forward 4. So I'm going to go reset it, press play. Let's see what I've got. So there you go, I've got a T. Now this is where we can have fun with trying to make the pen go up so that it moves across and it leaves a space. So now what I want to try and do is I want my pen to go up. So pen up, PU for pen up. And then I want it to go forward 2. So I'll reset it and press play. Let's see what it looks like. So can you see now it's left a gap between my letters. So now I can do another letter. So I want to do an I. So what I want it to do is I'll make my arrow turn right and then go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spaces. So it's going to go right 90 degrees, FD for forward, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if I go and reset it, I wonder if you could spot a mistake that I've made. So this is what it looks like. Did you spot what mistake I've made? So I've forgotten to tell my computer to put the pen back down again. You can see if I start it, it doesn't go back down. So what I need to do is after my arrow turns right, I want it to put the pen down again. So here, where it says right 90, I need to put PD for pen down. So if I reset it and press play, so what it looks like now. Now I've got that I. Okay, so I've got T and I've got I. Now I need to try and make M. So what I want it to do is I want the pen up so that it doesn't leave a line. And then I want to try and make my arrow turn to the left, so LT90. and I want to leave 2 more spaces. So forward 2. So this is what it's going to look like if I reset it. Okay, so I've got there. Now I want to make an M. So I need to make my arrow turn left. So I'm going to put in LT 90. And then I wanted to go up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 squares. It's going to go up. So forward 5. So if I reset it, this is what it looks like. I did exactly what we did last time. Forgot to put the pen down, didn't we? So what I need to do then is, after we've turned left 90, I need to put the pen down again. So let's test it out and see. And you're going to be making mistakes as you go along. So don't worry if you do, because the best thing is you can reset it. You can change the code and see if you can correct it. Now I want to make an M. So this is the tricky bit, because I want to make my arrow turn to the right, but instead of doing 90 degrees, I want it to be, let's say 90 plus 45. So we want to do 135. Let's see if this works. Aha. So now I can go forward 4. So now I've got that part of the M. I need to go left 90. And then I'm going to go forward 4. See what that looks like. And now I want to go right. I'm going to do the same I did before, 135. Let's see if this works. And then I can just do forward. I want to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Forward 5. So if I reset it, this is what it looks like. Hopefully I've spelt the name Tim. So there we go, I've done it. I've managed to spell Tim. So what I suggest you do, guys, is have a go at practicing writing different letters. You don't need to do a whole name like I've done, but that'd be fantastic if you could do that. Because I'm trying to create different letters. And if you get onto writing your own name, that'd be brilliant. Have fun with it. And I look forward to seeing some of your letters later on. So everyone, hope you have a lovely day. I hope you have a wonderful afternoon in Forest School. And I'll see you tomorrow for a normal day together. So take care, and I'll see you later on, everyone. Bye.